What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. Let me ask you some questions. How much of today do you remember? How much of this week, this month, do you remember? How many significant moments come to your mind? Does only the things that stressed you out, that you felt were difficult, come to your mind? Can you recall just as many, or at least a handful of good moments, things to be grateful for, memories that were made? If you're anything like me and how I have spent the bulk of my life, you can sense the point I'm going to make by the leading questions I just asked. I have rushed from one thing to another thing my entire life. I don't know if I've ever stayed in a moment long enough without my mind rushing to the next. Even if I was physically present half the time, it was always a part of me, calculating, anticipating, planning for the next moment. How will I do the next thing? How will I get to the next place? How will I get back? Literally never in the present moment. The present moment never felt valuable enough to live in because it was here and accessible. And I thought the best way to live in it is to plan for the next moment. This one's already here. I already have this one. What's the value of that? And you do have to use some of your present moments for future outlooks, maybe even most of them. We're constantly sacrificing in the now to store up goods for the future. That's just the nature of man. But in this perpetual cycle, we practice living for the next moment so much that all that future we spend right now planning for never really arrives. Because when that future does arrive, we overlook it again, looking into the next. And so most of life passes like this. None of it ever really felt, ever really lived in. All of it looking forward. Unless, of course, we are forced to slow down. Illness, loss, pain, hurts, and somehow the future no longer matters. And we are thrown into the now, in which we are made to confront all the parts of us that we were overlooking this entire time. And the longer it has been since the last time you were this present, the more painful being with yourself, sitting with yourself will feel. The more painful the present will feel. And so you create this bad association with the present again, and you reinforce the need to keep running away from it. Or even worse, you'll look back at all those past moments and have regret because you didn't fully live in them. And there's a huge tragedy in all of this, huge cost, which is something I've only realized the older I have gotten. It's the simple fact that things only happen once. No matter how much you love something or don't love something, no matter how much you acknowledge it or fail to, no matter how present you are or not, no matter if you actually stopped for the moment and appreciated it, regardless, your opportunity window to experience the thing is only right here, right now. And the chances of it ever happening again, being the same, feeling the same, is slim to none. Things only happen once in life, and life moves so fast that if you don't recognize this fact and encourage yourself to appreciate the nature of what you are currently experiencing, then you probably won't get to experience it again but you will get a chance to appreciate it again in the future as a past memory. And it will be painful because you will wish you could live it all over again. You will wish you could have appreciated it in that moment. You will see things in it you don't see in it now, and it will hurt. And a question that has come naturally to my mind after seeing myself run around and chase my own tail for the bulk of my life like this. That question being, what exactly are you even rushing to? Where are you even trying to get? And that's another question you really need to sit with. Because if you contemplate it long enough like I have, you will realize the answer is unclear. There really isn't a next place worth getting to, more than this place that you are currently in. And where you are is the very place that will lead you to where you are going, but through it, not in spite of it. If you live in this current moment fully, you won't keep recreating versions of it over and over again. You will get what you are supposed to get out of it and actually move on. And living like this now is such a different experience. It's almost like a 180-degree difference. Instead of rushing to the next moment and the next moment, once you marry all of these understandings and realize that this day will never happen again like this conversation, this embrace, this glance in someone's eyes, it will never repeat. And once you realize this, instead of rushing to the next moment and having your experience be that of haste, it will be the exact opposite. You will stretch out each moment as much as possible. You will live in it, breathe in it, settle into it, notice it, and actually be there. This is not hard to do in practice, and it's not unlike meditation, but it doesn't require your eyes to be closed, any breathing techniques, incense, or any soundtracks. All you have to do, instead of living in your head while you are here, let those thoughts know that you can get to them when you get to them. Instead of living in your head while you are here, live in how here feels. Look around you. Take in the colors, the lights, the scents, the sensations. Literally slow yourself down, your gaze, your attention, and notice. Because if you continue to live how you are living now, if you continue to think constantly, the things I have to do next, the things I gotta get done, and you bring that into this moment, and you load this moment with it, then you will definitely load the next moment in which you are doing those very things that you once ruminated on. And while you are doing those things that you thought about in that last moment, you will continue missing it by the moments you are anticipating will follow again. The next thing will constantly command your attention. Each moment robbed by the next. And before you know it, a life gone, never actually lived, robbed from you, by your own rushing into the next thing, devaluing this moment. And when that next thing becomes the current thing, it will also not receive the value it once did when it was the next thing. When it is current, it will be devalued again in your practice. Because you only value the next. And so very few things when in front of you ever get valued. And if I could leave you with one last thing to hold on to and remember, it's that there's nothing waiting for you there that isn't already here. I love you, family. Stay true always. I'll see you on the next show.